are, Season 3 for Monster Trophy Whitetails TV. I'm your host, Dr. Jimmy Steger. 12,500 acres of prime whitetail hunting. We're up in the hills. Get ready to show you some big bucks. Get ready. All right, here we are, 11 and a half hours on the road from Alabama all the way up to Kentucky. Season 3 coming at you. Get ready. Hunting whitetails is not a part-time sport for us. We don't just do this to say we killed another big buck or to brag to anyone. We hunt whitetails because it's our passion. It's in our bones. It's in our blood. We eat, sleep, and breathe whitetail hunting 12 months out of the year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not just any whitetail, the biggest whitetails in the country. This is Monster Trophy Whitetails. On the money. Here are hunters. We're up here early season bow hunting, opening weekend. This is what we've been waiting on all year long. Season 3 Monster Trophy Whitetails TV. We're up here getting ready for early season bow hunt. First thing this afternoon, we're gonna go down in the woods with our new TNT bow. Thanks to Mario Pellegrini for shipping this thing to me overnight. He got this thing to me, tuned it in, it's dialed in 20 to 60 yards with a new X-Factor stabilizer, which is the bomb. This is what it's all about. The newest bow out with that 22-inch from axle to axle, the shortest bow in the industry, and super fine, super tuned bow. We're fixing to head out for early season bow hunting. Get ready. Perfect practice makes perfect. Learned that many years ago in martial arts. If you're gonna be a world champion, you gotta practice perfect every time. Opening bow season up in Kentucky. We're headed out to a cornfield that we planted about 2 or 3 months ago. And the corn, these deer busting this corn up so bad. I don't know if it's gonna grow very much, but we was out here filming about 4 weeks ago. Saw some massive bucks in this corn. We got about 3 hours before dark. So we're going out for opening bow season. A new TNT bow. We'll get down here and ease down and see what's happening, so get ready. Okay, we walked about 1,000 yards over this hill. There's a cornfield out here we're trying to get to our stand, but before we ever get to where we're going, I always like to glass the area. And unfortunately, there's a couple of bucks out here between us and the stand. We'll have to take another route just to try to get to our stands. Okay, we're out here for our first day of bow season. We put this stand up about 4 weeks ago. We've been monitoring to see what kind of bucks are coming in this cornfield. In front of us, we got a cornfield. It's about 100 yards long. And up on top of the hills is a pond. Behind us is a big, thick bottom of the barbed wire fence. These bucks are coming along and feeding. So we'll sit here till dark today, see what happens. So far we've seen two nice bucks just too far away. So let's sit tight. Now the first deer we saw that afternoon was a nice doe. She come running around this cornfield. I think she was a little leery that there was a big buck out there. And she was right. It didn't take but a few seconds to get out of there. I'm up here hunting deer in Kentucky. My son's at the house practicing shooting his bow. That's pretty good. He just turned 6. He shoots the bow real well. I'm proud of him. And we saw this monster 10-point on top of this hill come in just shortly after we saw this doe. And then we saw a nice 8-pointer coming in, but he was too young. All we could do was sit there and wait and see if that big 10 come down close enough to us. Now these bucks were down in this corn, about 70 yards away. There's nothing we can do. These bucks were actually getting the velvet off their horns, raking these corn stalks. What an amazing sight.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Monster Trophy Whitetails TV in just a minute.
Okay, for this week's fitness tip of the week, we're talking about the bicep. The bicep is a two-headed muscle in the front of the arm. A lot of people, especially men, want good-looking biceps. Well, this particular exercise, by far, is the best bicep exercise you can do. Why? Because you're using dumbbells. We like to use a lot of dumbbells. It takes pressure off the joints, especially the elbows, the wrist, and the shoulder. This particular movement is called seated dumbbell curls. Tanner's going to pick up these dumbbells here. Okay, you never want to use a weight that's too heavy, which forces your elbows forward. A lot of people, when they curl and their elbows point forward. You never want your elbows pointing forward when you do any type of curl. Keep your elbows pointing down or slightly back. Come up, squeeze it, and let it down. You notice it's keeping his wrists straight, elbows down, shoulders in position so the shoulders aren't moving. You don't want your shoulders moving when you're doing biceps. Otherwise, your anterior deltoids are going to come into play and take all the emphasis away from the bicep. Seated dumbbell curls, you can do these from a seated position or bring the bench back for an inclined position. 3 sets of 10 of these is all you need. Later on, we'll talk about how to work the forearms properly. But this is called seated dumbbell curls. You do 3 sets of 10 of these from a beginner standpoint. That's all you need. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. If you're just not joining us, Dr. Steger's out here. It's the second day out, early bow season. He set up in a lone wolf stand overlooking a cornfield and a soybean field. Perfect spot for these big bucks to come into.
We're set up this morning on our early morning. We've been here about 30 minutes before the sun came up. We're sitting over corn, big cornfield in front of us. And to the left is a bean field. Behind us is a bean field, soybeans and peas. These bucks like to travel this area. And right below us on the ground is a natural salt lick that's been here for 30 years. So we've been seeing some bucks. When we came in this morning, we spooked 2 big bucks up out of this corn. It's not good, but there's nothing we can do about it. So we're gonna sit here this morning and see what happens.
Now he'd been sitting in the stand for a couple hours, and then behind him come this nice hen. He was real pretty, but he was young too though. Dr. Steger decided to let him walk on through.
This is a great morning stand. We set up here about 4 or 5 hours. It's getting close to lunch. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to another stand a couple thousand yards away. It's shady. These bucks sometimes have come up here and feed, but it's hot right now, and these bucks ain't gonna come out in this corn, these soybeans this time of day. So I'm gonna try to get in an area that's a little bit darker and see what happens. Let's go.
Hey kids, this is this week's Health Tip of the Week. I'm Jimmy Steger. Every day after school, try some fruit, like an apple or banana. That's this week's Health Tip of the Week. And you won't get cavities. See you next week.
Now we started stalking this afternoon. It was hot out there, but middle of the day, these bucks aren't gonna move. They're gonna stay bedded down in these cool areas, and we decided to stalk. That's the very reason a lot of these big bucks get so big. We're down here walking the edge of one of these cliffs, and these bucks can literally lay underneath these rocks. You'll never see them because everybody walks these high banks and these roads. We just jumped a big one hiding back here. But you'll never see these bucks because they're so well hidden. We're walking this cliff. About 40 yards below us, there's a big buck bedded down here. He's laying down, he doesn't even know we're here. Come check this out. Now we've been stalking for quite some time, which is what we generally do in these hot days this time of year, instead of staying sit all day. And we come around this hill, and we looked up to our right, and before we knew it, we saw this buck taking off. And all you could see him is he gave us a little side turn, and he was gone. So we decided to take and run around the side of the hill, which is about 300 or 400 yard hump, and get set up to see if this buck made it over the top. And sure enough, look at what come running over the top of this hill.
Hey, don't forget to check out our website at teammcw.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, a little bit about what I do for a living. I own a company called JS Training Systems Incorporated, which is a three-dimensional company. It encompasses our natural health care. I'm a naturopathic doctor, a clinical nutritionist, and an iridologist, and we specialize in natural medicine using nutritional medicine. herbal medicine and homeopathic medicine, and we see patients from all over the world come to see me because what I do is I specialize in truly natural medicine and helping people get well through natural protocols. And the second part of our business is our health club. We have a full-service health club and a personal training facility. I train a lot of professional athletes throughout the country in various sports for what we call sport-specific training. We also have a variety of clientele that we train for our personal training company, Hard Bodies. And so we train people to get them in shape to help better their quality of life, regardless of what it is, whether it be sports or just want to come in and get in outstanding shape. And the third phase of our business is our martial arts school. Dr. Steger's Ultimate Martial Arts School is about teaching 3 different separate systems of martial arts. We have a Shaolin Kung Fu system for kids, 2 adult systems. One's called the Fujikan system, and the other one is a complete jiu-jitsu system, Yoshitsune Jiu-Jitsu. So we teach 3 different systems of martial arts here at our school, Monday through Friday. And we have a tournament team, Team Ultimate. We travel around the country competing on a national level and throughout the world. And outside of JS Training Systems Incorporated here, we also have my nutrition company, Dr. Jimmy Steger's Nutritional Supplement Line, which is a nationwide supplement company. We customize nutrition formulas for patients all over the country. We also have Whitetail Magic, which is a deer nutrition company designed specifically for building nutritional products for deer to enhance their body size, the overall health of the deer herd, and their quality of antler development. So we deal with a lot of deer breeders around the country, helping them improve their quality of their deer genetics. And then last, I am a SAG actor and a stuntman, so I've done several major motion films, and so we do some acting as well. And outside of that, when we're not doing any of those other 6 things, you'll find us from September 1st to February 1st in the woods hunting for Monster Trophy Whitetails TV.
We saw this buck taking off, so we decided to take and run around the side of the hill and get set up to see if this buck made it over the top. And sure enough, look at what come running over the top of this hill.
Whoa, what a bug, did you see that? He ran over the hill, shot him a little back. He's about 34 yards off. Came over that hill, ran over there. He's a monster. We're gonna sit tight, we're not gonna move. It's in the heat of the day, about 3:30.
What a buck. We let this buck lay for about an hour, and we went down, and about probably an hour and a half later, we found this buck way deep down in this bottom. So what we did was grab this deer. It took about 4 of us to pull him out of this bottom, about a 400-yard drag. Pull him out of this bottom, get him up on the side of this road so we could do our post-production footage on this buck. We've been hunting in the field this morning. Decided to go do some stalking, which I love to do. And this big buck was behind our shoulder, headed up a hill. And my guide, Wayne Sizemore, told me to look back. And we saw him quartering away. And I got just enough time to shoot this buck at about 34 yards. And I'm actually sitting in the blood where he came out. So I'd like to thank Mr. Mario Pellegrini from California from TNT Bows for shipping this bow overnight, having it tuned in, ready to go. And X Factor for their fantastic stabilizers, and all the rest of our sponsors for making this happen. Special thanks to Jonathan Reese, and definitely the one and only Mr. Wayne Sizemore, my guide. Phenomenal guide. We brought this deer up about 100 yards out of this bottom just so we could get this shot.
Well, that was a nice buck, wasn't it, Brandy?
It was a nice buck.
It was a great buck. We hope you enjoyed our show this week. Until next week, I'm your host, Dr. Jimmy Steger.
And I'm Brandy Anderson.
Remember, keep hunting those big bucks.
Don't forget to check us out on teammtw.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Shh, I'm hunting big bucks. There's a big one right out there. Make sure you get your herd guard today. Don't leave home without it.